All right, our heater control valve is located right down here and all between all this mess, and I'm going to show you in a second how it goes. The first thing we'll do is let's get this outer shield out of this cover out of our way. Now usually there's supposed to be clips holding this in, but every single one of them are gone. So yeah, that just picks right up, and we're going to set that over here to the side. And we're getting a lot more room here. Yeah, you know what? To make sure what we're gonna do, because we want to make sure all this is out of our way. So the next thing we're gonna do is this upper mount right here. We've got three 8mm or 5/16 bolts. We're gonna take that out, and this is the radiator mount. This keeps the radiator in place. We're gonna move that out of the way so we can get down there as well. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. What I got me here is an 8mm 3/8 drive deep socket, and you can use a 5/16 as well. Now I'm using a 6-inch extension. You don't have to use the extension. I'm gonna get one anyway. And what I got was my cordless gun, Craftsman gun, with my 3/8 drive adapter on it. Is that 3/8 drive? Dang it, that's so big. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just loosen these up a little bit for the gun. All right. Then we're gonna get our cordless gun. Pop them right out. All right, take this piece off. There we go. Now we're starting to look. Now we can start seeing in there. Now what we're gonna do here is, as we take parts off, we're gonna go to the back of the truck over here, and we got our ramp set out, and we're gonna put down what I call the party line. A lot of you guys already know that. Every time if you're doing a big job or any kind of job, what you want to do is, when you take a part off, put it down, and as you take parts off, you put them in the line. So when you go to put them back together, you just start from the end of the line and put them right back. Makes it a lot easier. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is to get down in there. What do we see now? Man, we got all this in the way. You know what? Let's get this hose out of our way. And if we can get this harness, okay, this harness is definitely move out of the way. And we can plug, oh, this ain't supposed to be plugged into the radiator. That's cool. We're gonna get that out of the way too. And if you see, there's a little tab right there. We're gonna push that little tab in right on this side and unplug that. So let's get us some vice grips so we can get this hose off. And what we do, we got our car jacked up just a little bit, just so we can slide our pan up under there. So as we take off the hoses, take off stuff, the antifreeze will drop right down into the bucket. All right, right back. All right, got me a pair of vice grips right here. I want to open my vice grips up. Clamp them, squeeze them in. I do not like these clamps at all. Squeeze it together. Walk that clamp back. You know, I might just take that clamp right off of there. Let's get that hose off. Yeah, there we go. Starting to spin. Put the antifreeze down in there. And what I'm going to do is try to pick this hose off. I'm going to take this clamp off because I don't like these clamps. But we're going to put us a new clamp. And what we're going to do is bend this hose out of the way. Try to get it out of the way some kind of way. So now we can actually see down in there. Dang, that thing looks like it sucks. We might have to take up the radiator. Take up the fan too. All right, let's put this up and I'll be right back. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, let's get this whole air cleaner tube assembly out of the way. And what we're gonna do is we got that air temperature sensor right here. Got a little plug right here. We're gonna push that in, unplug it. Then the mass airflow right here, little tab. Push that little tab down, unplug it, keep that out of the way. Now we're gonna disconnect the box right here. Now we could just disconnect it from right here, but let me just do it right here. These little tabs, you want to push it in towards the box and up. 2 of them. Put a little screwdriver here to get that one. Okay, then you gotta work this thing out of there. Now we're gonna go over here, and you got a clamp that's going onto the throttle, holding it onto the throttle body. So loosen that clamp up. Okay, then you gotta work this thing, and at the same time, you got 2 hoses over here. So you want to make sure you get those hoses off. Let's get this thing. Let's get this cover out of the way, so you can see better. All right, get a little screwdriver here and pop that off. And then this one goes inside. Then you just move this side to side and pull it off. There we go. Alright. Now we got to get this fan out of the way. Now this fan is a hydraulic fan. See the hose right here? That's a hydraulic hose going into the fan. But we got to get this fan out of the way to get this heater control valve, because this heater control valve is stuck way down in there, which this really sucks. This really sucks, because to get this out, looks like it might hit against the throttle body, and might need to take off the throttle body as well. All right, I'll be right back. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, we gotta get this fan out of the way. There's a lot of stuff right here, but the next thing we're gonna do is try to get this air cleaner box out of the way. So we're gonna grab our cordless gun, 8mm deep socket, 3/8 drive. Take that out of the way. Oh yeah, see, now we can start seeing it a little bit better. All right, let me put this to the side. Now we can get to that better. The next thing we're gonna do is get us a flat screwdriver. Where did I put the screwdriver? I'll get that in a minute. All right, next thing we're gonna do is disconnect and take off our throttle body. First, we have our idle air control valve, and up under here there's a little plug that you gotta squeeze in and unplug. That's the plug right there. You gotta squeeze that in and unplug it. Then we got our throttle positioning sensor right here, which has got a plug right there, the little tab. You gotta squeeze that tab in and unplug it. Now we're gonna disconnect our cables up here. This one over here will just snap right off. Pop right off. This one right here, you gotta pull forward and it'll pop right off. All right, then we got 10mm bolts. Let's see. Okay, up under here we got a little thing that actually that's supposed to be holding on to the harness, but you can see that's off, and that piece will just slide right off just like that. It's no good now. It's not holding on to nothing. So now on our throttle body, let's see, I see 2 bolts, one under here and one over there. It looks like 10mm. And we're gonna get our 10mm deep 3/8 drive. Huh? Actually, oh, it ain't. What the heck kind of size is that? That don't look like no 8. You know what? You ain't gonna believe this, but that looks like that's a 3/8. So let me go get a 3/8, and I'll be right back. All right, we got our 3/8. Huh? Guess it's not a 3/8. So we'll go back and use my 10mm deep. Go in here, go to the bottom bolt. Okay, maybe if I get the right socket, it'll be all right. Okay. And the bottom one, remember, it has that little stud coming out of it. Okay, there's one bolt. Let's go to our top bolt. You can see our throttle body is loose, but be very careful if you want to reuse that gasket. Be very careful taking that off. Let me make this a little quicker for me. body off, and there we have it. That's really dirty. This is a good time to do a throttle body cleaning. All right, put this to the side. And actually what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put the bolts back in there. I'm gonna put the bolts back in the throttle body, and I'm gonna put that on the party line. All right, the next thing I want to do is our idle air control valve is in the way. So we got two 10mm bolts on the top and the bottom. Let's take them out. Here we go. Gasket stayed in place. That's great. Put them up like this. Now, when we get ready to take this fan out, we don't have none of that in the way. And I'm gonna try something here, guys. No, actually, I was gonna try to just unbolt the fan and move it to the side, but then that's still gonna be in there trying to work with that thing. So now we're gonna get this fan out of here. All right, I'm gonna put this to the side, and we'll be right back. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is let these hoses drain on the hydraulic fan. The next thing we're gonna do is get you another drain pan right here. And you want to keep it separate from your antifreeze pan. You're going to set this up right up in the middle of the car. And there it is down there. And we got two hoses we got to take out. We got one, this top one right here, that's the pressure line. And then two right there, the return. I know, this system really sucks. And actually, wait a minute. This return line, you know what? We're not going to disconnect this return line, because this return line comes all the way up here. And I think I can, yeah, you know what? It's going to come all out with the whole fan, and we're going to leave it to the side. Why couldn't they make it, this one do the same thing? Why did they have to make it like a disconnected? All right, so we're just going to take off the top one. And what we have here is a 10mm bolt, this little bracket right there. So what I'm going to get here is my 10mm shallow 1/4" drive with the 1/4" drive ratchet, and I'm gonna go in here. Can you see that? Well, I move my hand here so you can go on this.
Yep.
All right, and what we're gonna do is take that bolt out of there. Now, guys, the book calls for 8 hours to do this job. So, I mean, 3 hours, about 4 hours. So, you know, get ready, because this is not gonna be fun. All right, and what I want to do here is hopefully get this thing out of the way. And of course, it won't. What you want to do is pick up on it, because it hooks on, snaps onto the line. There we go. And you can see that. See, it got two clamps. It just snaps onto the line just like that. All right. So what I'm gonna do is take this, put the bolt in here, and I'm gonna put this in the party line. But before we do
Party line?
Party.
Oh, party.
What's that say? Party?
The party line?
Okay, now we got this line right here. On this side.
That's all right.
You see that bolt right there, that flare nut? We gotta unscrew that from the fan. That sucks. And what you're gonna do to get that, because they gotta really, this is all in the way. I don't know how the heck they expect somebody to do this. Are they kidding me? All right, let's get us a crow's foot, and we're gonna see if we can get in there and get that out. Be right back. All right, guys, what you need here is a crow's foot. Now, there's the crow's foot there. It is what? 40 degrees out here, and Sylvia cracking jokes. Alright, here's your little closed foot. Now some of them has more closed in, but you cannot get that other one in there, so you need one like this. I got this set from Harbor Freight, and we got an 18 millimeter. And what it does is it takes my long extension, I can hook it on there like that, and what I'm gonna do is go down there, and you gotta get that line, get that on there like that. You can see that?
Yep.
And then just like you're loosening, you're gonna try to loosen that line up. There we go. And then of course it gets stuck in there. And this is a time-consuming thing right here, because sometimes you can, let's see if we can, you gotta just go little bit by little bit. And just keep turning it until it comes out. This is very time-consuming. And actually, you know what? I'm wondering, let me get this thing out of here. If I unbolt the fan and bring it up enough, can I get to that better? You know, that might be an idea. You know what? We're gonna try that, but we got it loose though. Now we're gonna unbolt this fan. All right, I want you guys to come over here and take a look at this side over here. It looks like somebody at one time had all this off, because right here it's not even bolted up. This fan actually is supposed to have a bolt in it. Why is it way down there? What the? That's way off. Why is? Wow. Look at that. That's supposed to be lined up to there. I have no idea why it's like that. You people are weird. Alright, so let's just do what we're gonna do. The next thing we got is right on this side. We have a, looks like a 5/16 or an 8 millimeter bolt.
Yep, I see it.
And let me get the, what's our, okay, what we're gonna use is a 5/16, and we're gonna just unbolt this and get this out of the side. All right, I'll be right back so I get this off. All right, last few threads. All right, that's out. Bracket hanging off to the side. All right, we can pretty much lean that to the side. That's off to the side. What I'm gonna do here is stick this bolt right back in here, just by a few threads, and then we're gonna go to the other side over here. Get this out of the way. And we got one bolt right there. Let's see if that is okay. That's also a 5/16 or 8 millimeter, and I'm using my 1/4 inch drive. Now the idea here is to pick this fan up enough to get those lines off. All right, let me get this out and I'll be right back. All right, got that bolt out. Let's see if our fan can come up. Dang it. It looks like my line is hooking onto that hose right there. All right, got to pass it, but now I'm hitting against this other radiator mount. So you know what? Let's get our our cordless gun with our 3/8 drive, 5/16 socket deep. Let's buzz these three out. Okay, put this to the side and I'll be right back. All right, let's get this out of the way. And see this thing. I'm hitting up against something here.
Oh, you're hitting the drive down here.
Where? Oh, okay.
Right down there.
So let's get this back a little bit. All right, we can't go up too much because of that hose. And the idea is to get this up enough. See that hose right there? To get this up enough so I can unbolt that. There we go. Now I can see that line. And what I'm gonna do is get a bunch of rags and put right here, because there's gonna be some fluid coming out of here. And I'm gonna get me an 18mm wrench this time. You know, it'd be nice. Why couldn't they have this thing that you can just get it twisted and get it? We don't even have to disconnect it, nothing. Nope. They ain't gonna do it. All right, let me go get a wrench and I'll be right back. All right, let's get over here. Let's get some rags over here. Okay. And what I got here is my stubby 18mm wrench. And let's see if we can get this stuff out of the way. Just gonna take a little bit, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ford.
You're blocking our view.
Yeah, what the heck, man? Y'all know what I'm doing.
I'm just saying.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and keep on doing this, and I'll get right back to you as soon as we're just about to take it out. Be right back. All right, I think we're getting. Oh, dang! I was about to say I think we're coming to the end, but there we go. All right, so let's get our line over here and see if I was holding up us now. There we go. Just gonna let our fan rest over here. Now here's the other line I was telling you about. So as you can see, the hose is long enough that we didn't have to worry about that. Now our line is right here. So what we're gonna do is get our hose and put our rags up under this. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way some kind of way. All right, now if you come over this side, there's our heater control valve. This thing with a bunch of hoses and everything on it, a plug. All right, first thing we'll do is there's a little red tab right here. We're gonna pick that tab. That tab's gotta come up to unlock it. Is it already up? There we go. Took that little locking tab right out of there. Then you just squeeze this in right here and unplug it. There we go. Right there. That'll take that little lock out of there, squeeze that in, unplug it. Oh, also, we could have just unplugged it from right here too. Huh. You know about that? What do you figure? Go figure. We're good. All right. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we gotta, let's get this. We're gonna get something and tie this out of the way so we can make sure we put these hoses back where they belong. All right, we'll be right back. All right, let's get this out of the way. I got a little mechanics wire. I'm gonna tie this up over here. Let's tie this around. And I'm gonna tie it to the ABS lines. These ABS lines are really strong, so you ain't gotta worry about messing up the lines or anything. There we go. Get that out of the way. Okay, there it is. There's our jump. And you can tell, look at this one, man. This one's all messed up right there. Look at all that corrosion and all. This cylinder, the solenoid right here, there's two cylinders. This one was burnt out. All right, but anyway, let's stop playing around. The next thing we're gonna do is start draining our antifreeze. Now, I'm not gonna disconnect these two holes right there. A little kind of difficult to get to. We're gonna disconnect them from up here. Now, the flow of this is your hot. Hot antifreeze goes through here, around, the solenoids open up, it feeds there's 3 hoses on the other side. It feeds 2 of them. 2 goes to the heater core. This heater core has 3 lines. 2 goes in, 1 comes out back to return, and then this one comes back to the water pump. And then in here you have your thermostat. Now, from what I understand, just like I told you before, we was told that the thermostat was changed. So we bypass that part. Okay, now the next thing I want to do here is I got my pan drained right up under this. So let's get our vice grips. Let's squeeze these clamps together. Back it up. All right, now we're going to loosen up that. Be very careful, because sometimes this is a plastic housing and you will break that. So what you want to do is get you a screwdriver, and you want to slowly put it between there and break the seal of the hose. Okay, this one looks metal, so we're good to go. And you can see our antifreeze starting to drop. We want to make sure our pan is right up under there. Okay, there we go. And once it breaks loose like that, it comes off nicely. Then what you want to do is just don't pull it off. Antifreeze is going to go everywhere. So you want to pull off just enough, just like that, and hold it in place. Let that drain out. So this way, as you can see, it's going in one section. I don't have antifreeze going all over the place. And then, once you get it to a point, start bringing your hose down. Let it drain out a little bit. That's one. Now we got this one up here. We're going to do the same exact thing. Where's our vice grips at? Alright. And you want to be very careful if you're using vice grips, because your radiator is right here. You do not want to put a hole in that radiator. Alright, squeeze that clamp together. Bring it back. Bring it back a little bit more. Okay, same thing. Get our screwdriver. Go around. You want to break that seal. And once you break that seal, that hole's gonna come off right off nice and easy. So now we got the 2 in the front disconnected already. Now we got 3 in the back. You know what you want to do is, if you want, get your lines out of the way. Just tuck them somewhere. If they're not in the way out. There we go. Now we got 3 lines over here. You want to make sure you don't cross these lines up. So what you want to do is, let's get you a little marker or something. So I'm put a little dot there, and a little dot over here. I'll put 2 dots over here, and we're gonna go into the top of the solenoid and put 2 dots. So now I know where those 2 go, and the bottom one, I just know it don't got nothing. So now we're gonna get to those down there, and that might be a little bit more difficult because they want to put these stupid clamps up here. Now I don't know why. You know, regular clamps would have been great, man. So we're gonna go in here and try to get these clamps out of here. Okay, that one worked out pretty well. I might as well squeeze that open a little bit more. It's a good idea at this point, guys. If you got new clamps, put the new clamps on it. The ones with the screwdriver or something. As you can see, these suck. These things never work right. I end up breaking them. And all right, there's one. Now what I'm gonna do is get my screwdriver, and you want to pry between there, and be careful you don't want to put no hole in that hose. All right, you see that starting to back off, which is great. Now I'm gonna move my pan over a little bit. And continue taking that hose off. You can see my other hose is in the way right here. So that's why it's giving me a little difficult time. And I want to take it off slowly. All right, there's one. Now a little chalk mark came off right there. So I want to make sure that I mark that again. The one, I'm gonna mark this up here so we know. You're gonna get that folded out of the way. And there's our second one now. So let's get that. Move this over to the side like this. Get that other clamp. Back that up. I hate these clamps. That one. Same thing with the screwdriver. As you can see, this is very, very time consuming. Number 2. Now number 3, the clamp is down there. Like, how the heck am I gonna get that? I'm not. I'm done. I ain't doing this job no more. This sucks. I'm gonna tell a customer, listen, you gotta take this someplace else. Astral's done. Nope. But okay, now what we're gonna do is get our 10mm 1/4" drive, shallow 10mm socket, and a 1/4" drive ratchet. And we got 2 bolts to take out. Come over this side. All right, we got 2 bolts. One right here. Can you see that? You want to come over this side?
Yeah, right over there. I saw the bolt.
You ain't see the bolt.
I did too.
You ain't see the bolt.
I saw it.
You ain't see the bolt.
I saw it.
Okay. You got one, got that?
Yes.
One right there, and one right there. Alright, you wanna come back over? Go ahead, back over this side. Go ahead. Alright, so let's see if I can get in there and get that top one. This top one I'm the one to worry about. Okay, looks like I can. Alright, I'm gonna get this out and I'll be right back. Alright, we just about got this bolt out. I think I mean, yeah, this is a tight spot. They couldn't mount this thing someplace else.
No.
They had to make sure people wouldn't do this. They said, we know Astro can fix it, so we're gonna. Let me stop talking. This boat still ain't out. Dang, it feels like it's. You can see that?
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much this is embarrassing.
Why? Just you turning.
Yeah, I ain't turning nothing. You know what?
Wait,
This bother.
You weren't holding it?
Yeah, it was, but
Oh.
it was like it wasn't.
You used to know how to use tools.
Been hanging out with YouTube too long. These are backyard mechanics. All right, we got one bolt. Now I'm gonna go over here and get that one right here on the side. I'm gonna do like Scotty Kilmer. I don't believe this, man. I'm doing this 3-hour job in the cold and I'm really cracking jokes about people. Alright, I'm gonna get this bolt out and I'll be right back. Alright, I think we're at the end of this bolt. At least I hope, man. Dang it. Really, do they gotta make 10mm bolts that long to hold up this bracket? I mean, you know. Dang it. I thought I was almost. You ready? You know, that thing ain't moving. Oops. Oh, there we go. Alright. Got our second bolt out of there. And, yeah, look at that. What the heck is this? Oh. Alright, so let's swing our hoses over from the side over here that we got tied up. So now we can turn our heated control valve to the side. There we go. And we can get that other hose right there. Why would they put it? Look at that, man. Why would they put a hose right there? Like, give me a reason. All right, so let's try to get this squeezing. I am definitely not putting these clamps back. Okay, there we go, got that. Now, the screwdriver. I gotta be careful, I'm getting very close to that radiator, so I gotta be very careful of that. Sylvia would kill me if we had to buy a radiator. Right?
I'm not saying anything on video. That's a confession.
Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. Got the new one and we got the old one. Now what we need to do, let's change over the lines. We gotta change over the lines, and we gotta get this little bracket right here. And from what I can see here, there's a 10mm bolt right here. And we got the 10mm nut down here. And from the way it looks, this one looks like it's got a little hook to it. So I think I'm gonna just loosen this one up. And it should just come right out of there. And where's my little cordless gun? Make this easier. Okay, let's see if this thing comes out. Alright. Here we go. Okay. Just like that. Let's get our put over here to our new one. Huh? Let's get our new one. Put it in there like that. This thing is a project. I don't like this mess. Dang, I thought I had this hooked in there. There we go. Okay, let's bring that down. Hook that up. Alright. Let's tighten this up. It ain't gotta be super tight. Tighten up the bottom one. Okay. That's good. Now, let's transfer over some hoses. Now we want to try to put these hoses in the same spot. So what I'm going to do here is, let's get, where's my vice grips? Alright, first of all, let's loosen up, get this clamp back here. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Let's get that back where it belongs. And let's take our marker. And we notice the flat end of this right here should line up right about there. So put that off. Get our other one. Put the hose on, and we know that that hose should be lined up, the top of it should be right about there. Bring our clamp up, bring it up a little bit more, release. So we know that one's lined up now. The second one, okay, if we turn it upside down, get a rag here. We're gonna wipe this off right here. And what we're gonna do is mark that just like that, and that's gonna be the bottom, right to perpendicular to the bottom. Okay, let's get our clamp. See why I hate these clamps? Suck. Okay, let's get our new one. Okay. Make sure that thing is perpendicular right with it. That's good. That don't have to be exact because the holes do move around. All right, we're looking good here. Okay, we're gonna save that clamp. We're gonna bring that back up there. We're gonna bring that one back up there. So now we're ready to bring this back in there. And what we're gonna do, let's go back over to the car, because on the clamp over here, I think we're gonna change this one right here. All right, we'll be right back. All right, got my clamp in position, my vice grips and all. And what I'm gonna do is lower my control valve down. Huh? You about to say something? Oh, wait a minute. Did I turn that camera?
Yeah, I did, but it
doesn't matter.
Way up. It's okay if it's all the way up. Bring it down.
Oh, you turned it on before?
Yeah.
It's recording now?
Yes, recording.
Oh.
You
All
want
right.
to start over?
No, we're good. All right, so I'm gonna bring this down here, and I hope you can see this. I'm gonna try to position my pump, my control valve where it's supposed to be. And then put the hose on. I'm gonna be very careful not to have that vice grip pop loose. Alright, now let's try to get our clamp up there. And this is the part I was talking about. I should have just used the regular clamp. Let's bring that clamp up. Okay, we gotta go on more. Okay, it's on. And if it bolts down there, let's see where it's bolting down to. About there. So yeah, good. Sounds good. Okay, the next, let's get our hose back here. And I can see my two marks back here, so I know this one goes right here. Okay, just like that. Let's get our vice grip, bring our clamp up here. Release it. There's the second one. Okay, here's our last one up here. And what we're going to do is let's push that on. Alright, get this out of the way. And let's get our clamp, our vice grips, and bring that one up. Okay, snapped into place. Now we're good to go. Now the messed up part is getting our two 10 millimeter bolts, and we gotta, because this is pretty much going to be by feel, guys. You can't, there's no way you can reach down there and you can't see it, so you have to be out of luck. Let's see, forget my side one first. And I think I actually got that started. If I did, that'd be cool. There it is. That's in there. And you know what I'm gonna do? I should get an air ratchet so I can just buzz that right in there. Don't even have to. Let me see if I can. I see a little opening right there. I wonder if I can. Heck no. Alright, I'm gonna get me an air ratchet so I can start that. I'll be right back. Alright, I got a little air in here. Let's see if we can get this thing started. I didn't want to tighten it up. Just want to get it snug in there, and that's good. So now I can reach in here, and I got the top ones already lined up for me and all. So now I know exactly where that one's going. Huh. I know exactly where it's going. It still ain't helping me out. Dang it, man. Come on this way. There we go. And I'm actually screwing this one in by hand pretty much. All right. That one's down. Now the top one, I can't get my air ratchet in there, so I'll be using my 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm socket, 1/4 inch drive. I'll be tightening up the top one, and then I'm gonna finish tightening up the bottom one. We'll be right back. Okie dokie. We got those bolts tightened up. This thing is in there. Nice. Let's start getting our hoses connected. Here's our one right here. Hook that on. Get our vice grips. Squeeze the clamp. Bring it up. Make sure it locks into place. There's one. Now our second hose. We got it over here. Bring it around here. Get our fan line out the way. Hooks up in here. Now remember, this is the hose that feeds the heater control valve. So what we're gonna do is get this clamp up here. Okay, locked into place. Great. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna leave this condenser, whatever it's called, for the AC. I don't know what the heck. We're gonna leave that right there. What we're gonna do now is get our harness. Bring it down to the side of the radiator. Bring it down. Let's connect that right now. We're gonna push that down till it locks into place. Heard that little snap right there? So that is connected. That is done. A little locking piece, you don't have to put that back in. You're good. You wanna put that back in? Huh? It's down here. I don't know, somewhere around here. It's good. You ain't gonna worry about that red piece. It's just a locking tab. You definitely, if you take that out, honestly, I advise don't even putting it back, just in case you gotta disconnect that some other time in the future. The plug is not gonna come out. Good? We're good? Yeah. Okay. Alright, since you want to talk, and what's next? What's the next part?
You got to bring the fan back and hook that line back.
Alright, exactly right. Now I did notice, look down here guys, check this out. This look like a little, that look a little green around there. So she don't have no, huh?
Yeah.
So that means, and somebody charged her for a new AC compressor. That's a new AC compressor right there. So I wonder if they told her the AC compressor was leaking, and it wasn't, because this is definitely leaking right here. We're gonna let the customer know that. All right, so when we come back, we're gonna get our fan and lower our fan down. Be right back. All right, we're ready to put our fan in. Now, very important, very, very important. We're gonna lower our fan down a little bit, and we're gonna hook up our line. You see that little plastic ring right there? That's a seal. If that seal is broken, you best be replacing it. All right, this one's not broken, this is good. Next important thing, which this person did not do, this fan was just hanging out all over the place. You see right here, it's got a little slot right there, a little tab. See a little tab? There's one on each side. Over here on the radiator, those tabs are supposed to put right in those slots to keep the radiator in place. One right there and one over here. They're supposed to go inside there, and then the two bolts. This thing was all crooked, one bolt was missing, everything. This thing is sucked. And we're gonna fix that right now. All right, so let's get our fan. Twist it around. And we're gonna carefully start lowering our fan in here. Just enough so we can get our line connected. Now you want to make sure this line goes in straight. So you want to make sure, even if you have to, even if I have to lower the fan a little bit to make sure it goes down. And this is gonna be difficult, man, because this sucks. So I'm gonna actually, what I'm gonna do here is get my wrench and try to turn that, because this thing is not easy to turn. Get over here and get this all out of the way. Dang, I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to get this thing over like that. Let's get it more over to this side. Okay, now I'm gonna get my wrench and hopefully I can get that thing started. Once you get it started, you good to go. And of course, this is not gonna be easy. So, why me, man? Why hit me? Let's get this thing at an angle. Get this thing dropped down behind that. With any luck, we can get this thing started. Because believe me, it is luck. Dang it, man. You gotta be kidding me, man. What the freak? Should pause the camera, then come back about an hour later and say, yeah, that took us about 2 minutes. Dang it. Oh, it did start though. That's cool. That is cool. Dang it, it dropped way up under. Dang. All right, it did start, so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna keep going down. Alright, you can see I got it started. Now I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna tighten this up till it stops. And then I'm just gonna loosen up just a little bit till I get it down and below. Then I'm gonna use my crow's foot. Alright, be right back. Alright, we got the line tightened up just enough so we can lower our fan back down in there. And remember, we got the 2 tabs on the side, so this fan's got to be in those tabs. If those fans is not in the tab, the fan is not going to cool the radiator off like it's supposed to. So we're gonna, and you want to be very careful lowering it down. And actually this might be a good idea to take our wire off over here. So we can move our receiver onto the side. And as you remember last time, this connected to the fan right here, this goes up under the under the hose for the radiator, top of the radiator. So what we gotta do is push this back, and at the same time hold this back and push everything down. And it's a little tight in there. Okay, now I'm almost down. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see way down in there, but now, if you look way down there, there's the end of our fan, and so we got to move it over to get into that slot. But I got to make sure over here is going to be lined up as well. Dang it. This is not gonna go down. I hate this thing. I am way off. I need to move this thing over. Yeah, figures, man, this is not good. Fighting this thing to get in there. All right, this is not lining up like I wanted to line up. So what I need to do, pick our fan up a little bit more, because I'm getting stuck on the lower radiator hose on one side. Got to be the worst alignment thing I've ever seen. harness out of the way. Okay. Okay, now we got it lined up, and as before, you saw the fan was leaning down on this side. Now we got it lined up, and we're gonna have to get a bolt for this side to hold this one up. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start the bolt on this side, then we're gonna find a bolt for the other side. Be right back. Okay, we did find another bolt, 5/16, so 8mm. So what we're gonna do is start the bolts into the shroud. And start this one over here. Okay, again, I got a 8mm deep 3/8 drive socket, and I'm gonna get my 3/8 drive ratchet. We're gonna tighten those two up, and we got our receiver right over here. We got a little bracket on it. Let's take our bolt out of here that we put in there previously. Bring it around. Start the bolt. And then we're going to tighten those three up. So let's tighten up 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to go down there and finish tightening up that fan. All right, right back. All right, now let's get our 18mm crow's foot with our long extension. And what we're going to do is reach in here now and finish tightening this up. Yeah, make sure this thing is nice and tight. It's kind of a sucky thing to get to. There we go. It's nice and tight. This line does move like that, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright guys, we are looking good here. Got everything connected. Alright, the next thing, you know what, being that we're here, let's get our throttle body and get that back on. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing we'll do, get you a rag or something, nice clean rag, and this is where your throttle body goes. And you want to make sure this thing is nice and clean, because if it's not, you're going to get air leaking out of here. And your check engine light will come on for a PO171 and a PO174. So now we got that cleaned off. What we're gonna do is go over here, grab our throttle body. You know what? Before, yeah, okay. We're gonna grab our throttle body. And remember how your throttle body goes. Remember, make sure your gasket is in place. Everything is there. We're gonna wipe that off. And again, this is a good time to get you a lot of carburetor cleanup, maybe about 4 or 5 cans. And what you want to do is called a throttle body cleaning. See the stuff right there? You want to make sure you get in there, stick this thing in some gasoline, soak all that up. And what we're going to do is open this up a little bit, and I'm going to wipe around there, because if you got a lot of carbon buildup in there, a lot of times you'll come to a stop sign, and the car will shut off on you because it's not getting air through there. So we're going to clean that up a little bit before we put that on. Alright, so let me set you on stand, and we'll be right back. Alright, first thing we want to do is take out our 2 10mm bolts. Take a rag, and we're going to wipe on the inside, right at the beginning. Then take one hand, let's put our bolts down. Open your throttle up. Sometimes it's going to get a little stuck here. There we go. You want to open the throttle up, hold it into place. And as you can see, you can actually see inside you see a shiny ring right there, and that's where the butterfly valve stopped at. And then you can see the carbon around it. It's that carbon around it that you do not want there. So take one hand, hold it open, take your other hand, reach inside there, and clean that up. See how easy that was? Clean that up, turn it over, clean up the other side. Now you gotta definitely do this, because a lot of times you take your car, especially the dealerships, when you need a throttle body cleaning, instead of cleaning the throttle body, they want to reprogram your computer, which costs $225 right now. There we go. And we'll clean the other ends off like that. Now this is a basic throttle body cleaning. The right way to do this is soak this thing in gas, get all this thing, clean it up out of there. And this side, you notice there's nothing. This side there is. All right, then you're going to carefully just wipe around the gasket. All right, now we're ready to install this. So the next thing we do, now remember, on our two bolts, one has a stud on it. The one with the stud on it goes toward the bottom. So we're going to take the one to the top, the regular bolt, put it in. Start it by a couple threads. Done. Let's get the bottom one. Line it up. Start it with a couple threads. And again, the reason why you want to start it with a couple threads is because if you go ahead and just use the ratchet, there's a good chance you can strip those bolts out, and it is going into aluminum. Then you'll be all messed up. All right, we got that started. Let's get our 10mm deep socket and let's tighten those up. Right back. All right, 10mm deep 3/8 drive. Let's go in here. In fact, we can just use just the socket. Bring those in. Okay, what I'm doing is bring them in by hand till it stops. Again, this is going into aluminum, so what you want to do is when you tighten it up till it stops, and then a little bit more, because you can over tighten these. Same thing with the top one, till it stops, a little bit more. Done. Get our little harness right here, our TPS sensor. Let's plug that up into place. Accelerator cable and our cruise control cable. Matter of fact, let's get you a little bit closer here. Accelerator cable just snaps into place, and our cruise control. Open up the throttle a little bit, bring it over, snap it into place. Done. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, the next thing we got this little bracket. Remember this little bracket right here? This bracket holds down the line for the power steering pump line. Let's go into our electric cooling fan. And what we're going to do is just go down here. And if you remember before, remember how this thing, because you got to make sure you set this thing, because it hooks up right there and it bolts up to the fan, and there's a little hole right on the side. So what we got to do here, just bring it down like that and make sure it's lined up. Now you notice I got the other one in first. So now what I'm doing is putting pressure down on this side just to bring that thing down into place, just like that. Now our bolt should line up. Let me get out your way right here. Our bolt should line up right there. And that's our 10mm bolt. And it's a good idea to have your ratchet in hand right now, so you can start this. Okay, and I'm using a 10mm 1/4" drive socket with my 1/4" drive ratchet. And we're gonna get that in there. And we're gonna tighten that bolt up. And that's gonna keep that line right into place so it doesn't come out, pop out, or anything. This bolt is not super tight, it's going into plastic. So that's all you do is tighten it up till it stops. Done, into place. The next thing we got. We're gonna put our first mount in for the radiator. Because without it, our radiator is gonna swing around like that. So you got a hole on the top of here, you make sure it goes onto the mount, to the top of the radiator, and that holds it into place. You got your 3 8mm 5/16 bolts. Get them lined up, get them started by hand. Okay, before we go any further, what we're going to do, let's get our other side, other bracket, and put that on. Right back. All right, here's our other bracket. Same thing. Put it on top of the radiator. Get our bolt holes to line up. Okay, now that we're in, we got an 8mm 3/8 drive socket with our cordless gun. Go ahead and tighten them up. All right, now our radiator is secured. The next thing we're going to do is over here, we're going to move our harness out of the way. Because what we got to do now, what part is missing here? The idle air control valve. So we're going to wipe that off. We got our idle air control valve here with our 2 10mm bolts. Just going to wipe that gasket off just in case there's any dirt or anything on it. The gasket, this valve does not go this way, and actually you can't even put it that way if you try. So good. So you got to make sure the connector faces towards the front of the engine. Start our bolts off. All right, then we're going to get ahead and tighten them up. 10mm deep. Okay. Get our connector over here. Plug it up. Done. Now the next thing we do, before we continue on, I'm going to show you something. Dang it. We're going to take this back off, even though I don't have to, but we still got the upper radiator hose here, and it's a lot easier hooking this hose on without this bracket in the way. But before we do that, I'm going to show you something over here. Here's our old heater control valve, and check that out. I have no idea what that stuff is inside there. What we're going to do here, I'm going to take a screwdriver and guys, if I didn't, and that's blue, so I really believe at one time or another somebody might have put some kind of sealer in it and clogged it up. And actually, if you could see down into this one, you can see the same thing. Can't see it inside there? Now, here's the problem here. If this stuff is in here clogged up, we're hoping that this stuff didn't go along the system. Let's go over here, go for this car. Now, you remember in the beginning of the video I showed you how this antifreeze flows in here. From this top radiator hose goes down to our heater control valve. Then we got two lines going back to the heater core. The heater core is like a radiator. And if you look at the radiator right here, you got all these little small lines right here the antifreeze flows through. If that stuff gets into the radiator or gets into the heater core, it clogs it up. You know, and that's why I always told you guys and girls, do not put any kind of sealer into a cooling system, because it will do more damage than good. So what's going to happen now is once we get this car bled, get it started up and all, we're going to go back here, and remember in part one, we've put our hands back there and felt the hoses. Both hoses were cold. Now I know this is going to be freed up. We're going to check our hoses, and hopefully we get both hoses hot. I know we're going to get one hot now because this one's flowing, but now hopefully we get that other one flowing out. And I've got a question now, because the customer did say that she had heat before she had an AC compressor put in, but they wouldn't have had to put no stuff in there. Oh, let's finish this up. We'll be right back. Okay, we got to put this upper radiator hose on. So to make this easier, what we're going to do is take this upper mount back off. Now, the original clamp up here was those squeeze type clamps, which I hate those clamps, and they really don't do anybody any justice. So we're gonna get us a brand new clamp and put up here so we can make sure this is nice and tight. All right, so I'll be right back. All right, don't have a clamp that size, so we got to use the original clamp that came off. And what you got to do is take your vice grips and you got to squeeze this together. Now, there's a lot of times that this thing will squeeze together and this thing will pop out. So what you do is take like a screwdriver or pry bar like I got, put it over it. So if it does happen, it's not going to go nowhere. You want to make sure that thing is. You know what? Let's make that a little bit. Get that on the second groove. Okay. I want to bring this in as much as possible. All right, got it in place. Now I'm still not sure if this is going to be able to go over the hose, so I got to carefully take this out, take our hose. Great, it goes over the hose. Leave my clamp there. Let's get our harness out of the way. Let's go down here and put this hose on. Okay. Bring our hose all the way up. And this actually has a little stop line where you're supposed to put the hose at. Alright, so we're on. Now we're going to slowly bring our clamp, walk our clamp up. And we're a little bit tight right there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to loosen our receiver dry up and just move it over just a little bit. 10 millimeter. Okay, let's get our 10 millimeter right here. No, it's a 5/16. Okay, just loosen this up a little bit. Okay, let's loosen up a little bit more. Okay, what we're gonna do is just move this out just a little bit, just so we can get our clamp out of it. Now, as you can see, I can't go no further. So what I'm going to have to actually do here is loosen up my clamp, tighten up the vice grips to bring it even more. Now it's right there, perfectly lined up. Once I get it lined up, slowly release the vice grips. In place. Done. Get our 8mm socket, 1/4" drive with our ratchet, and retighten up the receiver dryer. Okay, we're gonna put our top mount back in place, and we're gonna move on to the next step. Bear back. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is go on our lower half of the air cleaner. So we're gonna move our thing out of the way here. And what you wanna do here is we got our harness over here. Make sure our harness is out of the way. Now you got to see this little part right here. This little part sets down right into there, so you want to make sure that's in there. It keeps this thing from moving. All right, so what we're going to do is down in there, and at the same time, keep our screw lined up. Go into place. 8mm. Just tighten that up. First part is done. Now, before we put the top half on, what we're gonna do here, because we notice this little thing over here, we're gonna do, instead of having just bleed one side, we're gonna actually start to bleed two sides, which make this one a lot faster, because being that we lost a lot of antifreeze, this thing will take pretty much forever to fill up. So what you want to do, just like this one's kind of beat up in here, so we're gonna hopefully that can unscrew right there. So let's get us a flat screwdriver and we're gonna try to unscrew this. Be right back. All right, next thing we got is the top of the air cleaner, and what you want to do here, you want to make sure this part goes on the throttle body first. Now you want to make sure you have this thing hooked up, and you want to make sure there's no, especially they're known to break right between here. If you got any kind of air leak between here and the mass airflow sensor, this car will run like garbage, and half the time it won't even run. So what we're going to do is go over here, put the part on to the throttle body first. Then you got your two hoses back here in the back. And see that's a problem. See, that should not be that loose. That should be a tight fit. And what we're going to do here, we're going to put a clamp on that, because I am not, well, actually, you know what we can do? We're going to push it in further. And I still might put a clamp there, because I'm not liking that. And this one puts on, let's see, that's a nice tight fit. That's where it should be. So what I'm going to do is back this back off. and we're gonna get a clamp for that one. Then over here, we're just gonna, you got these latches right here, and they hook on to the outside of this box. So it hooks on and then snap down. And it's a good time to look at the air filter. Looks pretty clean, looks brand new. Oh, looks pretty clean. And if you want to check your air filter, what you do is hold it up, look at the sun. If you see light coming through it, it's good. If you don't, change it. Because if it's clogged, it can cause your check engine light to come on. So we're gonna put that back in there.
Or even stall out.
Yeah, or even stall out, because that's the only way this engine is getting air is through that filter. Okay, make sure everything is on. Take your time and put this on, because the way they got it, it does kind of like cause like a pain. And what you want to do is make sure these tabs lock into place. That's how you know you got it up there right. But this one's giving me a little hard time over here. Now if you're having a hard time like I am right now, we're going to do this the easy way. Take out 5/16. Unbolt it. So in that way we can pick it up a little bit. Then we can get our box on, hopefully a little easier. This is the most worst thing. See what happened here. Let's do this from out here. There. Oops. Now it's locked into place. Put it down. Okay, let's tighten it up. Alright, next thing you want to do is go down. Where's our harness at? Get our harness from under there. Harness, connect our mass airflow sensor, and connect our air temperature sensor. Okay, we'll tighten this up, then we're gonna get a clamp for that upper hose. We're gonna get a clamp for this, and then we're gonna start putting the antifreeze in the system and bleed this out. We'll be right back. Okay, let's get our little funnel right here. You know, it's a good time to funnel, stick it right there, and we're gonna slowly start pouring the antifreeze in there. And what I'm gonna do here is take a flat screwdriver. Now this is the bleed for our heating system. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take that little bleed out. Okay, all right, let's start putting some antifreeze in here. We're gonna fill this up, let it bleed down, and fill it up again, let it bleed down, and we'll be right back. All right, this thing taking a long time to come down. This is supposed to be a bleed right here. It looks like somebody got a screw stuck in it. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see what happens when we pull this out. Pull this bolt out. There we go. Now it's raining down. So she's actually gonna need another hose, a little hose that go right there for bleeder, and somebody stuck a bolt in there. We're good. All right, let's we're gonna keep pouring antifreeze in here until we see a little antifreeze come out that hose, and that's how we're gonna know when the system's full. I can't really see it, so you're gonna let me know.
There you go.
All right, so we know. Yeah, there it is. It's still taking out the air in the system.
Makes sense the way they did that. So like the antifreeze shoots out onto the engine?
Yes, it does.
I don't get it.
All right, so we're full. Let's stick the bolt back in there like they had it. All right. And we're full over here. And what I'm gonna do now is start the car up. And at the same time, we got the cap off right here for the bleed the heating system. Now what you gotta do is have the heating system on full blast, because if it's not on, the heater control valve will not open up and let antifreeze circulate. So let me get the keys and we'll start this up. On full blast. You can see our antifreeze want to come out through there. There we go. I'll let this warm up. Matter of fact, we got lower antifreeze. Put some more antifreeze in there. Alright, we're gonna leave that open and let it run, and we'll be right back. Alright, the antifreeze started coming up to the top, so what we did was put the cap on it and close the bleeder off for now. What we're gonna do inside, and I'm gonna bring the RPM up around 15 to probably about 17, and let it warm up, and you can see our temperature right there, and How does that feel to you? All right, it's definitely starting to come out warm, and we didn't even really bleed the system out yet. So we're gonna get this to operating temperature, then we're gonna go out there and bleed it. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we are just about at operating temperature. This thing is coming out hot. This is coming out really hot. This is nice. All right, the next thing we'll do, I'm gonna let this car idle. Make sure it's still coming out hot. And then we're gonna go out here. We're gonna take our bleed. And we're gonna slowly open it up. And, yeah, look at all that air coming out of there. And actually the antifreeze came out was cold. Now it's coming out hotter. I'm not gonna take this out all the way, but now it's starting to get hot. So now I know our system is bled. I remember before, it didn't do that at all. That's a stream. All right, so we're gonna close that off. It's not super tight, just close it off till it stops. Put that thing over here. Yeah, there we go.